Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News. I'm your host. Folks, what Goldilocks is sharing today is how FOREX is beginning to see a major increase in foreign currency trading unlike ever before, along with Vietnam and what they are reporting as well, preparing them for the Vietnamese dong to become stronger in the international community and begin to raise in value and rate. Let's jump right into what Goldilocks is sharing today, directly from the Bank of International Settlements. And again, there are four major financial institutions that oversee the global currency market, aka FOREX, aka where the foreign currency with currency revaluations will occur. That is the United States Department of Treasury, the World Bank, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the BIS, Bank of International Settlements. And what they are reporting, the Bank of International Settlements is reporting the latest data report that shows that there has been a significant increase in trading activity in FOREX, meaning that there is a flow, a massive flow or influx of global buyers and sellers, meaning institutions in FOREX. I am not talking about foreign currency investors, that less than 1% of the 1% that are in dinar land. No. I'm not talking about them. That is those of us who may be listening. Now, what this data is from the Bank of International Settlements is the daily trading by major financial institutions in the trillions of dollars, which has been done historically, ladies and gentlemen. Forex is a daily multi-trillion dollar market. So I'm talking about the big dogs, your Black Rocks, your Charles Schwabs, your JP Morgans, your Fidelities. I'm talking about the institution, what's called institutional money, that are buying and selling, meaning trading more in foreign currency unlike ever before. This survey that was just released, which collects data from over 1,100 financial institutions, shows that daily Forex turnover has reached $9.6 trillion in April this year, marking a 28% increase over the last 2 years in Forex trading. Why are these big financial institutions buying and selling foreign currency now more than ever before? What Goldilocks is sharing is that the growth reflects heightened global demand for Forex instruments, particularly what's called Forex swaps, which includes 4 trillion alone daily in transactions. Can you imagine 4 trillion daily? Folks, that is nowhere near what little itty bitty dinar land is in the 1% of the 1%. If you follow Goldilocks, you're the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Although the US dollar remains dominant, Goldilocks is sharing. Appearing on one side of 89% of these Forex trades, meaning the US dollar is used to purchase 89% of these currencies. These figures confirm a broader trend of the expanded Forex market. For historical context, you got to understand that this is a huge number. Trillions daily in Forex, but 28% more now than ever before. Foreign currencies that are bought and sold. Notice I did not say, it does not say in the report 4 points or trillions exchange in currency exchange daily. No, 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 no. Not in the context of what you would consider going to the bank teller exchanging currency or to the redemption center. Yeah. What this is referring to is behind the scenes in the private banking world where currency moves 24/7, 365. Then we have Vietnam, who is involved in this. And other countries as well. Iraq. Yes, Venezuela. Yes, Indonesia. Yes, India. Yes, Mexico. Yes, China, Japan. Yes, the UK. Yes, whatever currency you think of. Let's talk about Vietnam and what Goldilocks is sharing about Vietnam, who's a part of this. Vietnam is experiencing an uptick in trade with significant growth in both exports and imports in the first half of this year, 2025. Exports rose sharply. Think of now more. So here we have Forex. A sharp increase, 28% in currency transactions. Sharp increase in the imports and exports in Vietnam, where currencies are, of course, utilized. This growth in Vietnam reflects strengthening position in its global supply chains and its continued efforts to diversify trading partners, which is needed, folks, for the raising of the value of the Vietnamese dong. Goldilocks is sharing there are key aspects of Vietnam's recent trade growth. Strong export performance, meaning much stronger where they're exporting goods and services around the world. They've experienced a 27% growth already this year. Increased imports, meaning the inflow of money and goods into Vietnam. They're focused on high tech and diversification. Vietnam is increasing its participation in global high-tech value chains and is focused on diversifying its export markets to reduce reliance on any single country. This is so Vietnam can solely become sovereign and independent, away from the crutch or the dependence on the US dollar or any other country. This alone, besides everything else, will help to create the strength behind the Vietnamese dong. Goldilocks wants you to understand that on October the 7th, we are expecting an announcement from Vietnam and on the FTSE Russell about their upgrade to potentially becoming an emerging market. Once this announcement occurs, they will begin the process of loading their ships and filling orders across the world on a much larger scale. Meaning, folks, they're ships on the water. These ships will contain new market prices due to excessive volumes on their ports, on the water. New exchange rate prices will begin to form when unloaded on shipping docks in countries around the world. This does not mean that on October the 7th, October the 8th, expect an RV in the Vietnamese Dong. That is not what this means. These countries will load ordered items from retail stores onto trucks that will deliver these new products or new volume in products with new prices. There is a time whereby, speaking of time, where these new developments and new prices that are on the water need to move around the world to begin to move the value of the Vietnamese dong to the expected higher rate of a float. With expected higher rates even at some point in time next year. As the general public buys these items of interest, meaning the goods and the services and the products that we may buy at the stores that are made in Vietnam, based on the new volume from their upgrade, it will create new price patterns throughout the world on the water, which there will be a residual effect on the currency value. Because as Vietnam is more accessible through their expected market upgrade to an emerging market, it'll create new demands on the Vietnamese dong because the Vietnamese dong will be utilized more in trade. So as the public begins to buy these products, new chart patterns will form on FOREX as supply side economics begin to put price pressures on these products that will be recorded inside banking accounts that are synchronized with trading platforms to adjust to the new credit valuations taking place. That's why, folks, we've always said there is a cause and an effect to everything that occurs in the financial world. A flip of the switch, a snap of a finger for a rate to appear, there's not a cause and effect. That is fairy tale. So, you must understand and think. If there was to be a rate that just someone flips a switch and a rate appears, you can do that for your home. Just name a price of your house, and you should get it, right? Name a price for your car. You should get it, right? There should be you want to sell your home? There should be a buyer that's just going to buy it at whatever price you say it's worth. If there's a flip of the switch on it, go ahead and flip the switch on the price of your house. See what happens. Or your car. Or a piece of jewelry. Or whatever you're selling. Just go ahead and flip the switch and say, hey, this is the price. And people will accept it, right? They'll just go ahead and buy it, right? No? Why not? That's the price you said it was. That's the price you flipped the switch and said, hey, this is the price of my home. Give me the money. Oh. But that's the same for FOREX? For currencies? It'll happen that way? You sure? You believe that? Ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative that you have relationships with the actual bankers that will facilitate not only your exchange, but help you to manage and grow your wealth. So that the rates that begin to appear when the time comes, the bankers will be able to flip your money in the market. That's the real flipping that will occur. This may hurt some feelings because it's something different than what you've been told. But the truth shall set you free. When you're tired of being enslaved by your emotions of someone else telling you certain rates and dates, not only will you become free in your investment, you'll become free within your soul. And when you leave this world, all of your investments you'll leave behind. Your soul will carry on and continue. But the legacy you leave behind will be determined by what you do now. Unfortunately, many of you will have no legacy to leave behind. Many don't even care about that. I understand. You may say you do, but your actions show differently when you have left your investment in the power of someone else's hands instead of being proactive and showing the good God Almighty above that you are truly grateful that He has introduced this opportunity to you. Why don't you show it? Show God that you truly are appreciative and grateful by going and establishing the relationships, but do it in the proper manner. You can click the link at the top of the description and join the Goldilocks QFS Dialogue Room. The 8 steps and all the information is there. Make the time to do what's best for you and your family, if you so choose. We all have a choice. This choice is yours. We love you, folks. Be well.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.